This was really 10 minutes ago. I cried. I cried because today is an emotional day. It marks the end of a 1,000-day journey from around the world.
YouTube is a cutthroat arena with fresh content flooding in non-stop. Most people don't bat an eye when a creator starts to fade, but Nas Daily, that's a different story. This guy was once a king of the platform, dominating every corner of social media. Yet now, he's struggling with every video buried under a wave of dislikes. What happened to Nas Daily, the YouTuber who used to dazzle the world with his global adventures, only to have his loyal fans turn their backs on him? I bet there's a ton of juicy stuff to unpack here. Let's dive in. Let's be real. Nas is talented. I'm not just saying that, it's the truth, and that includes his knack for putting on a stellar performance in his videos. Born into a Palestinian Muslim family in Israel, Nas Daily, or Nuseir Yassin as he's known off camera, had an impressive academic journey. I'd bet his parents raised him with some solid values. At just 19, he landed a scholarship to study aerospace engineering at Harvard, a dream school for so many young people. Talk about an inspiring story. Even his bold decision to walk away from a cushy, high-paying job at Venmo's Tech Institute to chase his dream of vlogging his travels around the world, that's the kind of guts most people only dream about. I've got to give props to Nas Daily for actually making happen what so many just fantasize about. But nobody's perfect. At the peak of his career, Nas started facing a barrage of accusations, dishonesty in his content, fakeness, regional bias, and even disrespecting local cultures. All of these missteps began to tarnish his once shining image in the eyes of his community, even turning his loyal fans against him. I'll admit I was one of those die-hard fans, watching nearly every one of his snappy one-minute videos. But now, digging through his channel to put this content together and checking out his recent uploads, my feelings have completely shifted. That admiration I once had, it's gone, replaced by disappointment, even disdain. I'm guessing a lot of you out there feel the same way. That's probably why you clicked on this video, right? It all started when his follower count exploded, and with it, Nas Daily's ambitions grew bigger. Let's be blunt, his drive to make money went through the roof. Things strayed far from his original mission, and fans began noticing a gap between what he preached and what he did. A string of scandals piled up, shady advertising, disrespecting local cultures, and even accusations of racism. To top it off, Nas Daily managed to infuriate 2 million Muslims. His once shining image started to crumble, with fans calling him out as a fake and a hypocrite. The most common gripe I've seen in comments about Nas Daily:
people lost money, but also people lost trust in crypto, in people, in each other. I am losing trust in people too.
He's been deceiving his audience. You know those crypto exchanges, right? Let me tell you about the time he posted videos hyping up Sam Bankman-Fried, the head of FTX, and Changpeng Zhao, the founder of Binance. Those videos have since disappeared from his channel, but let's not ignore how they screamed paid promotion. Both of those guys later got hit with fraud allegations. Changpeng Zhao was forced to step down amid his controversies, while Sam Bankman-Fried got slapped with a 25-year prison sentence and an $11 billion fine for his scams. You've probably heard about this. Maybe you or someone you know even got burned by that whole ordeal, right? Nas Daily's influence was huge, especially among young people. I'd bet plenty of folks fell victim to Sam's schemes because of Nas's videos. And then boom, he deleted those videos without so much as a sincere apology to his fans. Instead, he went on a self-pitying rant, claiming he was a victim, whining about losing faith in humanity. Talk about dodging responsibility. His audience wasn't having it. One fan's comment summed it up perfectly. You didn't lose faith in people. People are losing faith in you. But wait, there's more. During a podcast, Nas let slip a bombshell. Sometimes people paid to be featured in his videos. YouTube's rules are clear. Sponsored content has to be disclosed, but Nas didn't bother. That's straight up deceit. It makes you wonder, out of the 1,000 videos he's posted, how many were paid gigs? Fans started questioning everything. Does he actually care about the quality of his content, or is he just cashing in on ads, even if they hurt his community? It's crystal clear. He's been betraying his viewers' trust. Nas Daily's reputation took another nosedive when he rolled into the Philippines. At first, he and his team dropped a video spotlighting Wong Od, a 104-year-old tattoo artist titled "The World's Oldest Tattoo Artist." The video dove into fascinating details about her dedication to her craft, creating traditional tattoos without modern machines, using only homemade ink from charcoal and water, and plant thorns in place of needles. It exploded across social media, racking up tons of views and glowing praise as a captivating, share-worthy piece of content. But the story didn't end there. Nas Daily then launched a tattooing course featuring Wong Od on his Nas Academy platform. Things got messy when Wong Od's granddaughter publicly called him out, claiming her grandmother never signed any contract with Nas, and there was no such thing as a Wong Od Academy or tattooing course tied to her. In response, Nas posted a video showing the 104-year-old signing a document with her fingerprint, seemingly as proof that she'd agreed to the so-called Wong Od Academy. He also threw in a line about how 40% of the Nas Academy team is Filipino, which sparked a firestorm of debate. People argued that the issue wasn't about his team's nationality, it was about the ethics of the deal and who was really benefiting. The situation came to a head when the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, a Philippine government agency tasked with protecting indigenous communities, released their investigation findings. They declared that the traditional tattooing art of the Kalinga tribe is a shared cultural asset, requiring the consent of the entire community, not just Wangad alone. Unfortunately for Nas, this was a massive misstep, costing him around 500,000 followers at the time. Things got uglier when Luis Mabulo, a Filipino farmer and entrepreneur, accused Nas of exploiting her culture. The two had collaborated on a project to promote cacao farming for local farmers, but it fell apart. According to Luis, Nas repeatedly dismissed the farmers as not clickable content, mocked their local dialect, and called Filipinos impoverished. I mean, what did those Filipino farmers ever do to him, even if they are struggling? What a callous move. It's clear this guy was chasing million-view videos, not genuinely trying to uplift or promote anyone. Nas isn't helping these people. He's using them to build his brand. I couldn't agree more with that take. Not content with stirring up trouble over regional biases, Nas Daily went on to spark controversy with religion. In a video titled, "I Studied Islam for a Month and Lost All My Hair," posted in July 2024, Nas effectively picked a fight with over 2 billion Muslims. The issue? The tradition of Muslim men voluntarily shaving their heads after the pilgrimage to Makkah is a sacred practice, but Nas framed it negatively in his title, riling up the Muslim community. What happens when viewers just glance at the title and jump to conclusions without watching the full video? Let me be clear, I've fact-checked this, and Nas spread misleading information here. Religion is a big deal, and not everyone, especially someone who isn't a devout follower, can fully grasp its nuances. So let's leave centuries-old traditions alone and not twist them into something they're not. It's obvious Nas Daily doesn't have a deep understanding of the topics he tackles. He comes off as a one-sided messenger, skimming the surface without substance. Honestly, he needs to focus on creating quality content instead of chasing trendy topics to hook viewers. Here's a prime example. When the Israel-Palestine conflict flared up, Nas jumped right into the conversation. It makes sense, he's directly connected to both nations. In his videos, he claimed to take a neutral stance, preaching peace over war. Honestly, it felt like he was just trying not to upset anyone. But then he posted on X that Israel comes first and Palestine is a distant second. Talk about contradicting himself. That statement completely undermined his earlier peaceful videos. To make matters worse, a short clip surfaced, filmed by a passerby showing Nas berating Israel. And just like that, he alienated pretty much his entire audience in one fell swoop. Look, this isn't just about picking a side. If Nas Daily had openly backed Israel or Palestine, he'd still have people rallying behind him, defending his stance. The real issue here is Nas himself. He's a hypocrite. Honestly, it doesn't seem like he cares much about the conflict itself. He's just jumping on a trending topic to stay relevant. Dishonest ads, racial insensitivity, and blatant fakeness. These things have turned Nas Daily's once positive image into something ugly in the eyes of his community. Those upbeat, feel-good videos of his, they're now seen through a different lens. Fans are starting to question, who's really benefiting from these stories? There's a lot of chatter about whether the perspectives he shares are genuinely his or just polished narratives designed to win over viewers. It gets worse. Former employees of Nas have spoken out, revealing that working for him was far from the inspiring experience his videos portray. They described a toxic work environment where the focus was solely on churning out viral, view-grabbing content rather than making a meaningful impact. Another ex-employee echoed this, saying it was all about what would blow up on social media. Clearly, this is a far cry from the Nas Daily we saw in the early days. Turns out, he was just building a facade as some kind of inspirational figure. Now, Nas Daily's empire is crumbling. Videos keep going up, but his viewership has plummeted to alarming levels. A channel with 14 million subscribers pulling just 100K views per video? You don't need to be a YouTube expert to see that's a steep decline. Watching his recent uploads, I can't help but wonder, is what Nas is saying even true? Is he being paid to push these videos? Every year, countless content creators fade into obscurity, and it barely raises an eyebrow. But Nas Daily's downfall is different. It's a slow unraveling. Despite his efforts to mask it with manipulative content, the truth about who he really is can't stay hidden forever. This is a wake-up call for YouTubers to be more mindful about what they put out there. Your audience is smart, so keep it real with everything you share.